Here's the truth nobody talks about. Your buying decisions aren't really yours. Right now, as you're watching this, there are billion-dollar companies studying your behavior, tracking your emotions, and designing experiences specifically to make you spend money. And it works. Every single time. According to research, up to 90% of our purchasing decisions are made subconsciously. That means 9 out of 10 times you buy something, your logical brain isn't even in the driver's seat. So here's what we're doing today. I'm going to walk you through the 7 psychological triggers that control your buying decisions, the ones marketers don't want you to know about. We're talking scarcity tactics, emotional manipulation, social pressure, and brain hacks that have been scientifically proven to empty your wallet. By the end of this video, you'll recognize these triggers instantly. You'll understand why you keep falling for the same traps. And most importantly, you'll know how to protect yourself. So if you've ever regretted a purchase, if you've ever wondered why you bought something you didn't need, or if you just want to understand how your mind really works, stay with me, because this changes everything. Let me ask you something. Have you ever walked into a store, just to browse, and walked out with a bag full of stuff you didn't plan to buy? Or maybe you've been scrolling online at midnight, and suddenly you're checking out with 3 items you didn't even know existed 10 minutes ago? Yeah. Me too. And here's the painful part, it's not your fault. You're not weak. You're not bad with money. You're not lacking willpower. You're just human. And your brain is wired in a way that makes you incredibly vulnerable to these triggers. Think about it. How many times have you clicked, buy now, because there were only 2 items left in stock? How many times have you upgraded to the more expensive option because it was labeled, most popular? How many times have you bought something just because everyone else seemed to have it? This isn't random. This is by design. And the scariest part? Most people go their entire lives never realizing they're being manipulated. But not you. Not anymore. Let's dive into the first trigger, scarcity. You know that feeling when you see only 3 left in stock, or sale ends in 2 hours. That panic. That urgency. That voice in your head screaming, if I don't buy this now, I'll lose it forever. That's scarcity. And it's one of the most powerful psychological weapons in marketing. Here's why it works. Humans are hardwired to avoid loss. In fact, psychologist Daniel Kahneman proved that we feel the pain of losing something twice as strongly as the pleasure of gaining something. So when a brand tells you something is scarce, whether it's time, quantity, or availability, your brain shifts into panic mode. You stop thinking rationally. You stop comparing prices. You just act. Let me tell you a story. A few years ago, a major airline ran an experiment. They sent 2 groups of people the exact same promotional email. But one version said, book now and save $200. The other said, don't lose your chance to save $200. Offer ends soon. Guess which one got more bookings? The second one. By a landslide. Same offer. Same price. Different framing. Scarcity creates urgency. Urgency kills hesitation. And hesitation is the enemy of sales. Amazon knows this. That's why they show you, only 5 left in stock, even when they have thousands in the warehouse. Airlines know this. That's why they tell you, only 2 seats left at this price, even when the plane is half empty. And you know what? It works. Every time. So here's your defense, pause. When you feel that urgency creeping in, stop. Ask yourself, do I actually need this? Or am I just afraid of missing out? 9 times out of 10, the answer will save you money. Alright, next up, social proof. This one's sneaky because it doesn't feel like manipulation. It feels like common sense. 5,000 people bought this today. Bestseller. Most popular choice. Join 10 million satisfied customers. When you see these labels, something happens in your brain. You think, if that many people chose this, it must be good, it must be safe. And boom. You buy it. This is social proof in action. And it's rooted in something psychologist Robert Cialdini calls the principle of consensus. When we're uncertain, we look to others to guide our decisions. Think about the last time you picked a restaurant. Did you choose the empty one or the one with a line out the door? Exactly. Here's a real example. A hotel in Arizona wanted to get guests to reuse their towels. They tried 2 messages. The first one said, "Help save the environment, reuse your towels, standard." Boring. It worked okay. But then they tried this. 75% of guests who stayed in this room reused their towels. Compliance shot up by 33%. Same request. Different approach. Massive difference. Social proof works because it removes the fear of making the wrong choice. If everyone else is doing it, it must be the right move, right? Wrong. Here's the truth. Just because something is popular doesn't mean it's good. Just because 10,000 people bought it doesn't mean you need it. So next time you see bestseller or most popular, ask yourself, is this actually right for me? Or am I just following the crowd? Because the crowd? They're not paying your credit card bill. Trigger number 3. Anchoring 73930. Now let's talk about anchoring, and this one's a game changer. Have you ever seen a product priced at $500, crossed out, with a sale price of $299? Suddenly, $299 feels like a steal, right? You're saving $200. Except, you're not. You're spending $299. This is anchoring. And it's everywhere. Anchoring works by setting a reference point, usually an inflated, original price, that makes the actual price seem like a bargain. Your brain latches onto that first number, the anchor, and everything else is compared to it. Restaurants do this with wine lists. They'll put one absurdly expensive bottle at the top, $300, $400. So the $75 bottle looks reasonable by comparison. Clothing stores do this by displaying the original price on the tag even though the item was never sold at that price. Online courses do this by saying, normally $997, but today only $197, and here's the kicker. Even when you know it's a tactic, it still works. A study at MIT had students write down the last 2 digits of their social security number, then bid on items at an auction. The students with higher numbers bid up to 300% more than those with lower numbers. Why? Because that random number, completely irrelevant, became an anchor. So here's your move. Ignore the anchor. Don't ask, is this a good deal compared to the original price? Ask, is this a good deal compared to what I'm willing to pay? Research the actual market value. Compare options. And never let the first number you see control your decision. Trigger number 4. Emotional manipulation 930-1130. Okay, this next one? This one's personal. Because it doesn't just target your wallet, it targets your heart. We're talking about emotional triggers. Think about those commercials that make you cry. The ads that make you feel inspired. The product descriptions that paint a picture of the life you could have if you just bought this one thing. Imagine waking up every morning feeling confident, energized, and unstoppable. Give your kids the childhood they deserve. You've worked hard, you deserve this. These aren't selling products. They're selling feelings. And feelings? Feelings are expensive. Here's why this works. Emotions bypass logic. When you're emotionally activated, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for rational decision-making, takes a backseat. Your limbic system, the emotional center, takes over. And when emotions are in control, you buy. A famous study showed that people in a positive mood were willing to pay up to 30% more for the exact same product than people in a neutral mood. Brands know this. That's why Nike doesn't sell shoes, they sell determination. Apple doesn't sell computers, they sell creativity. Coca-Cola doesn't sell soda, they sell happiness. And it works. I'll never forget the time I bought a $150 journal because the ad made me believe it would unlock my full potential. Spoiler alert, it didn't. But in that moment, I wasn't buying a journal. I was buying the feeling of becoming the person I wanted to be. So here's your shield. Separate the emotion from the product. Ask yourself, what am I really buying here? The product, or the feeling the ad is selling me? Because feelings fade. But the charge on your credit card? That sticks around. Let's talk about reciprocity, one of the oldest tricks in the book. Here's how it works. Someone gives you something for free. A sample. A trial. A consultation. A gift. And suddenly, you feel obligated to give something back. This is reciprocity. And it's why grocery stores offer free samples, why software companies offer free trials, and why sales reps give you their time before pitching. Psychologist Robert Cialdini found that when waiters gave diners a single mint with the check, tips increased by 3%. 2 mints? Tips jumped by 14%. And if the waiter gave 1 mint, walked away, then came back and said, "For you nice people, here's an extra mint," tips skyrocketed by 23%. Same service. Same meal. The only difference? A 2-cent piece of candy and the feeling of debt. So next time someone offers you something free, pause and ask, what am I being set up to buy? Okay. Here's the moment where this all comes together. You've just learned about scarcity, social proof, anchoring, emotional manipulation, and reciprocity. But here's the real revelation. These triggers aren't just used in ads. They're used in every part of your life. Your boss uses scarcity when they say, "We need this done by Friday or we'll lose the client." Your friends use social proof when they say, "Everyone's going. You should come too." Your family uses emotional manipulation when they say, "If you really cared, you'd." This isn't just about shopping. This is about understanding how your brain works. And once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. You'll start noticing when you're being influenced. You'll start questioning your decisions. You'll start taking back control. And that's freedom. So let's bring it home. Your brain is an incredible machine. But it's also predictable. And when you're predictable, you're controllable. Scarcity makes you panic. Social proof makes you follow. Anchoring makes you overpay. Emotions make you irrational. Reciprocity makes you feel obligated. But now? You know. You see the game. And you can choose whether or not to play. Here's my challenge to you. For the next week, pay attention. Notice when you feel that urge to buy. Ask yourself, what trigger is being used here? Because awareness is the first step to freedom. If this video opened your eyes, do me a favor, hit that like button. It helps more people discover this content and break free from manipulation. Drop a comment and tell me, which psychological trigger affects you the most? Scarcity? Social proof? Emotional ads? I want to know. And if you want more videos that pull back the curtain on how the world really works, on psychology, decision-making, and the hidden forces shaping your life, subscribe and turn on notifications. Because we're just getting started. I'll see you in the next one. Stay aware. Stay smart. And remember, your choices are yours, if you choose to make them.